This year, we have embarked on updating our systems for reporting on students' involvement and engagement in the classroom. We found that parents had limited time to check on their child's work at school with work and other commitments. And as teachers weren't able to keep up with phoning home, emails to report on students' day-to-day, or face-to-face conversations with all 30 plus students' parents.
Portfolios were a waste of paper, time-consuming, and were ultimately an incomplete representation of students' work at school. A lot of parents found these impersonal and irrelevant. They weren't able to feed back on work in real time, and by the time they saw it, the work was in term 4. The students may not even remember what the specific learning intention was or how they completed it.
Parents were coming to sharing evenings less and less, with home lives becoming busier and busier. Junior parents were interested in what their children were learning and how they were getting on socially. Senior parents wanted to be able to engage in conversations with their children. Parents wanted to be able to initiate conversations about learning at school without the obligatory shoulder shrug and that often follows.
Goal-setting interviews were brief and often left teachers and parents feeling as if they had only just scratched the tip of the iceberg. Breaking these goals into chunks for the students and teacher to develop an action plan together seemed to feel as though there was just dropped with the time constraints of 15 minutes per child. The parents were only seeing the end goal and were unable to see any of the children learning or even attempting to achieve their goal. We believe the process towards achieving a goal is just as important as the outcome, and we wanted parents to be able to witness this journey.
Workload is a huge factor in our lives. We needed to find a way to cut back on the time we were spending creating meaningless interactions with parents, and find a way to streamline this so that they could be involved in the learning of their children in a more inclusive and collaborative way. Our Board of Trustees recommended that staff don't overload themselves. We had to find a solution.
From conversations with other teachers at our school about how they cope with their time restraints while still providing quality exemplars of students' work, we found that our staff were spending many hours filing work into clear folders in a mechanical way, impersonal manner, which wasn't really valued by our parents or students.
The obvious next step was to look at using Seesaw as a way of reporting students' everyday work to parents in a real-time way. This had been discussed in professional development conversations, observations and inquiry research team discussions.
We wanted to change how we're reporting to parents. At senior management level, our principal modelled using transformational leadership attributes and canvassed our thoughts from year group to year group.
All syndicates had the choice on how they would report their students' work to parents for Term 1 and 2. But come Term 3, the impact was that everyone unanimously chose to move right away from paper-based portfolios and towards a more digital approach. This way, our reports would reach a broader audience and encourage a wider range of feedback and input.
We decided to conduct a survey of the teachers at school who use Seesaw and asked them if they found it to be a useful tool for tracking students' work, getting parents involved in the children's learning and promoting student agency.
100% of teachers surveyed agreed that the students in their class benefited from using Seesaw in their everyday program. They expressed their happiness with the improvement in student agency when completing self-directed learning tasks, as well as when working on homework tasks and when sharing work with the class, teacher or parents. Students, being digital natives, were able to pick up this program quickly, mould it to suit their needs and use it as an effective tool for monitoring their work output.
Through observations, we noticed that students are becoming less needy for consistent approval. They have begun to ensure that their work is completed to a high standard in order to be able to be approved by the teacher.
Once again, we found that 100% of teachers surveyed thought that Seesaw was an effective way for parents to be involved in the learning and progress of their child. Parents expressed that they felt Seesaw was helping them to stay up to date with their children's school lives and their academic improvement. Parents were able to do all of this with little to no extra effort on their part. This worked well with our goal, as parents are often busy and unable to keep up to date with their child's work.
Parent feedback on students' work and student learning journeys has increased and proving to have some positive effect on students' engagement and the quality of their work that they are producing during school time. With the guarantee of work being seen by both teacher and parents, the students have really picked up their game and are showing that they can produce top quality work all of the time.
We have found that Seesaw has been a fantastic tool for promoting teacher mind shifts as well as that of students. Some teachers at our school have been critical of the shift in practice towards a more collaborative, future-focused and child-led reporting system. They have since embraced Seesaw and have been enjoying the instant feedback, child-led work samples and the increased student agency that this style of reporting brings.
We have found Seesaw to be inclusive of teachers at all levels of technical ability, enthusiasm and confidence. They offer professional development for having their program running in either your classroom or your school. They are step-by-step videos, lessons plans and tutorials to support teachers and students in their learning.
Other teachers have been a wealth of knowledge, showing us how they work Seesaw into their routines and giving us tips for how we could use it. When we are all leaning on each other for support and looking to leaders within our school, we engage teacher empowerment that can build the confidence for others to lead. Drawing on participative leadership, we are seeing leaders in our school seek knowledge, feedback and input from everyone.
And finally, we have seen 100% of teachers agree that there has been a decreased workload with the introduction of Seesaw. They identified that their students can think for themselves, far less teacher support, and they are committed and they have commented that marking and checking up time has decreased to less than half the time as usual.
Some of the successes that we have noticed so far are that we have been engaging the parent community and making the workload much easier for the teachers.
But most importantly, capturing learning now and sharing this, so students feel a unique audience, therefore a unique purpose.
The staff feedback survey shows an extremely positive view of Seesaw at our school and shows a range of successes as highlighted earlier.
Student agency has increased dramatically throughout our school.
The ability to integrate the Seesaw lesson plans and assessment has been a major reason for success in solving our issue of time management, working smarter, not harder.
Celebration of Learning, our parent sharing evening, has a more ICT focus.
Monitoring students' work has become much more streamlined and is more than just an assessment book. It is more of an ever-growing story of learning experiences.
Failures we found. Possible lack of support for staff developing their ICT skills. We can break this down into time available for professional development, as there have been varying degrees of ability, confidence, and having ongoing knowledgeable support available when someone is stuck.
We don't have 100% of parents signed up for Term 3. This remains a goal. However, over time, we will see this rise as more parents are aware of the positive benefits. We have close to 100% of families signed up to our other online communication tools, and we believe that Seesaw will follow this trend. By educating our parents about why we believe Seesaw is a valuable tool at sharing evening and providing students more control over the work that gets showcased to their parents via Seesaw, we hope to see more parent involvement.
We can see that there is a lack of consistency of work being shared currently. This might require us developing some shared templates using the Google Docs we're already familiar with. And with the new compatible function within Seesaw, this process will slip in with ease.
A challenge in our school, as in many others, is a lack of devices available in each classroom at our school.
Things we could have done differently. We could have started at the beginning of the year to show consistency in our reporting.
We could have set up a framework that is consistent throughout the school for more summative assessments.
Having more professional development for teachers. However, since embarking on this journey, we've sourced some teacher-generated lesson plans that breaks down the skills needed to complete the basic tasks on Seesaw. This can act as a guide for teachers when they are beginning to use it with their class.
Now that we are all on the same walker and following in the same direction as a school and community, we can already see how technology is connecting us as a whole and leading us off into a new direction of authentic, meaningful work and collaboration between home and school. As we prepare our students for the future and encourage them to become lifelong learners, we are allowing the students to be able to dream bigger, reach higher, and strive to become the problem solvers, leaders, innovators, artists, creators, and thinkers of tomorrow.